Happy Bank Holiday Monday, guys. So I just thought I'd do a sneaky podcast because my mum has just took my son out and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do another podcast because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready for this week. I've recorded a few episodes and I've talked about why learning is a fundamental need and the processes that I've talked about self-development, and this is one of them. I'm now an author. I mean, I am already a self-publisher, but I've published a big book and it's about my journey of leaving school and, like self-development and how much I've changed and everything about manifesting and the law of attraction and how we need to learn and grow continuously. The world does not wait for us and people don't wait for us. We need to stay in our own lane and move at the rate that we can physically move at. We can all set ourselves goals and we can do whatever we want to do. We shouldn't listen to what other people say that we can and can't do. I started off I left school in 1998 and I started doing hair and beauty, but since then I've done all sorts of different things. I'm now I've just recorded a little podcast and I'm just reflecting on my book, and it's been a crazy few weeks of adapting and I'm coming to terms that I've done a book. It's strange. It doesn't feel real, but I put the work in, I put the graft in, I've done the manifesting, I've done the goal setting, I've done the time blocking, I've looked after my personal wellness, my own mental well-being, and it's been a journey of exploration because so much goes on in our minds. Our mind monkeys challenge us every single day, and if we listen to those, then they're there for a reason, but they're not very helpful at times. But if we think about what people have give us our abilities to what we can do in life, then we wouldn't do these things. So I've just been recording a little podcast. This is my little studio where I record my podcasts. So I'm having a nice little coffee. I've got a little coffee machine in here. I like to just send out. I work from home. It's my little studio. And I just like to just do what I need to do and set the goals that I need to do for the week. And it's really important that we do our daily goal setting and manifesting because it does take us on a journey, and there's always an end game to why we manifest. And I have a strategic way of manifesting. I do it because I want to have goals I've got goals in place. I've got business goals. I've got something next month that I want to achieve, so I've got to think about how I'm going to do it because I've got a child who lives on the loop. He's got additional needs, ADHD. My life is like this crazy, and my head is like that. I'm a manifesting generator. I'm constantly wanting to do new things, but I've got to be careful that I don't reach burnout, and that's what I've just recorded on my podcast. So if you've not seen my podcast, it's Manifesting Through Motherhood at Busy Mums Fitness Corner. So it's on that podcast, and I talk about different subjects. My life coach, I'm a fitness coach, and I do predominantly work online now with that side of my business, but I try to bring everything together, and I have guests on my podcast and we talk about all sorts of manifesting, but our human design and how we can goal set and everything has to come together. Health, wellness, we have to have an equal balance, because if we don't have that, then we just crumble and we just don't hit our goals, because they're not going to be effective goals, because we're not going to feel well, we're going to be burnt out. And we all spin plates. I spin plates all the time, but it's how we do them, how we keep them up and going without the burnout. And we're all if you're a parent and you're watching this, it's hard. We set ourselves little tasks and we always get to fulfill them. So just think about what's your focus, what's your main thing, what you want to achieve. This year was to finish my book, publish a book. I've done it now. I'm like, now what can I do now? So September, I do help people create books and record, launch podcasts. So I'm going to be opening my diary up a little bit more. September, October. December's probably not going to be a good time because I am really busy in my hair salon. But I will be working. So I am opening out a little bit. So if you are thinking of publishing a book or a journal, I've got 20 other journals on Amazon, weight loss planners, just dabbling a little bit in self-publishing. I teach you how, simple steps. Or if you're thinking of launching a podcast for your business, I've also got another podcast called the Podcast Launch Corner. It's pretty new. I just put episodes every week on looking at different ways of launching a podcast and all the things that you need to know that I wish I'd have known before launching a podcast. So it's just, that's a newbie, but I'm just going to start growing that podcast. So that's one of my goals as well, is to grow that podcast, because now I teach people how to launch podcasts. I need it separate from my manifesting podcast because it will get a little bit clouded. So you've got to make sure that you have a strategy around your business and where you're going forwards, and you know, my niche of people that are into manifesting listens to this podcast, people that are looking at launching a podcast for business or even a hobby are going to listen to the podcast, because it's always going to be there. It's going to be an evergreen podcast where you can listen and re-listen to it, and it's got lots of like golden nuggets that I teach on my one-to-ones. So you might as well go and listen to it, the podcast at Launch Corner by Lindsay Williams. And you know, if you're thinking of, you know, next month, you know, kids are going back to school and you're like, yeah, I want to launch a podcast, and I meet so many and network with so many amazing women, and we collaborate and they just want to launch a podcast because it's an extended version of your business. Like, we can do Facebook and Instagram, but sometimes we need to grow our business a different way. We've all got offers, I've got courses, we've got Patreon membership, we've got things that we want to offer for our clients. If you've already got a business, then you're laughing, you're ready to go. You know, a podcast, I always recommend people to have a podcast because you can talk more. Like, just been yapping for 30 minutes constantly talking about, you know, growth and learning, but it's something that I teach and I love to do, and it's been a massive passion of mine. So if you like listening to podcasts, you can find me on all podcasting platforms. And between, like, if I have guests on, they can be up to 45 minutes. Myself, between like 15 to 30 minutes. Lots of golden nuggets. I've got 130 episodes, 2 seasons, and it's just going to continue to grow. I just love it. It's brought me to where I need to. It's given me the confidence to publish a book. I've got my, you know, monetize the podcast. I've got my clients. I've got people that listen to it regularly, and I offer them, you know, what they need on the podcast. So fire in my belly. I love it. I'm a talker, I'm a chatterbox, so podcasting for me suits me. So, but yeah, so if you've not listened to the podcast, go and have a listen to Manifesting Through Motherhood. If you go back through my other videos, you'll probably see a little picture of my logo, but you'll see a picture of me on there. So have a great bank holiday Monday, and if you're not watching this on bank holiday Monday and the day after, have a great week, and I'll see you all soon.